No. Moxie somehow Kelly's amazing. I'm like, I know Moxie. That's the stuff I want to do. Folks, if I could get your attention, we have an incredible assembly of residents tonight, and it's 6:32, so I want to make sure we have an hour to get through some of this. So thank you all for coming tonight. This is a town hall meeting, so it doesn't fully follow the regular board meeting structure. We're going to do a Q&A tonight. So we provided you with a list of all of the goals and ideas that we've just kind of been brainstorming. And what we're looking for tonight is feedback from you. Any questions you may have, suggestions under the different categories. If you feel strongly against something that's listed under one of the categories, let us know. Guys, thank you so much for showing up. This is such an incredible turnout. I'm looking forward to hearing everything you guys have to say. If we don't get through to everybody, because I did not expect this large of a crowd, we will try and reschedule another one. But we will need to end at 7:30 because that's when we scheduled our regular board meeting. And because of publication, we have to follow through. We may be able to have about a 15-minute window there, but we will have to end this and then go from there. So
we do have 2 seats open up front if anybody in back wants to have a seat.
All right, so we're just going to go ahead and move straight on to item number 3, which is the public Q&A. Please just raise your hand. If I don't know your name, just let us know your name when I call on you, and then give us your question. Please do not make long speeches. If you have something that you'd like to address with the board of greater detail, maybe reserve that and focus on questions or some things that you can add in or amend that we can add into the list. And yeah, so under the general section, did anybody have any questions, comments, discussions? Give me 1 second to pull up my sheet here. There we go. All right, so under the general goals we had, it's not coming in right now. I just got onto my official village laptop. It takes a minute to upload documents. Sorry about that. Well, if there's no questions for that, we can move on to section B, which is clerk. Any questions, comments, additions? Section C, communications, marketing, outreach.
No questions or thoughts about how we can improve our communication?
Can somebody read some of the just subtitles?
I'm trying to get them to show up. Yes, sorry about that.
I have a copy.
Thank you. As soon as it loads. All right. I'm going to back up. Under general, we had the Gall property, which many of you know is across Route 72 from Sleepy Hollow. It's where the old Tuckers used to be. It's where Verlo, I suppose Verlo's been there for 30+ years now. We also know that there's a West Dundee development going in around there. Any comments on it? So that's Gall. We want to update the code enforcement ordinances, ideally providing a seasonal top 10, if you will, for the residents, so they have a better idea of some of the things we're looking for with code enforcement. With that, we're also going to try and clear up some of the language, one, to make it more enforceable and clear for Jeff Fleck, our code enforcement officer, but also to make it more layperson language, so it's pretty clear. It's not the angle back here to the side at 8 inches. We'll say put your trash cans where it's not visible, and locations. That's just one example. We want to update the code of conduct for the trustees. There have been questions from residences about absences, phone usage, notifications, and what our duties are outside of the board meetings. We have some organizational chart. When we took on a village administrator, that changed our organizational chart, because it used to be that the village president basically oversaw the president role and the administrator. Now there are 2 separate individuals, Eugene and myself. So we've had to remodel that and start to check on the ordinances to make sure that they are consistent, because some places it says the village president will sign for things. And then with the new ordinance we created for the administrator, there are roles that Eugene or whoever the future administrator would be would fulfill. We want to update the spending chart, and that's just a reflection of inflation to allow for the individual departments or trustees who have options to make purchases. This would just be a little bit of a higher spending chart to reflect inflation.
1 second,
Oh, please.
President Bo. Those are the topics under general where if anybody in the room has questions about, these are the headings.
This is, yeah, these are
So
headings under
before we go
general.
too much further and lose, people forget about the ones that we've already talked about, can we maybe stop here?
Oh,
So
that's
people
for what
can
was that?
kind of. Before people forget the ones that were at the top of the list.
Oh,
by the time we get to the
I
bottom.
was looking for you to raise your hand after I read off the ones. I'm sorry.
I thought you were gonna say, okay.
Yes.
Anything that I've mentioned so far, does anybody have comments? Good morning.
My concern is our ordinances. I've
Okay.
been lived here for 32 years. I know we all got a copy when we moved in. It seems like the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, nothing's enforced, or if they get a ticket or something, nothing happens. And I don't know, I think what happens when you don't enforce them, then people just keep trying to go as far as they can. So what are we planning to do? I know Jeff's been doing this for, I don't know, I don't know how long he's been doing it, but it just seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse, and people just don't even care. They're like, well, give me a ticket, and I'm not paying it, what are you gonna do about it? So what do we do about any of this?
Okay, so in this instance, that's actually one of the reasons we've added this to the list. That was a complaint that we heard during the campaign that things aren't as enforceable and with respect to code enforcement as well as with speeding. And police presence around here. So I had a good chat with the chief and Jeff Fleck about where some of the problems are with code enforcement. It comes down to language and making sure that, so one of our ordinances says the vegetation in the yard can be no higher than I think 8 inches. But is it vegetation? Is it grass? What does it allow? Like if you have taller plants that are native grasses, are those allowed to be higher than 8 inches? If you're doing a native lawn, does it need to be turf grass? So those are some interpretation things that make it unclear for how he can enforce it. Another example he gave us are the garbage and recycling cans. The rule is they're not supposed to be visible from the street and they're supposed to be not put out and then brought back in within 12 to 24 hours, I believe, I remember. But it's unclear on visibility. If he can see it from that one angle as he's coming down the street, is that a violation or is it when you're looking square on at the house? So he was seeking some more clarification on that. And what I asked him and chief to do is come up with the top 10 of each of the seasons. So we can then sit down and look at them, make sure they're enforceable so that we can actually follow through with it. That was also something we dealt with 1601 West Main and the tree canopy in ordinance. We didn't have anything that would properly enforce or provide support on that one. So my goal is the code book is about 745 pages. And for those of you, I assume you guys like that light reading of legalese. We don't want to spend our attorneys $180 an hour reviewing that entire code book. So we're trying to find problem areas that we can correct. And that's why we're going to start with code enforcement and proceed from there. We're trying to do a review in planning and zoning as well to make sure that those are more current and applicable. So we'll be doing it piecemeal through planning and zoning. And I'm hoping that Jeff Fleck, chief, myself, and I've asked trustee Kennelly and others to weigh in on the top 10 seasonal ones. So it should be more clear. And we do have administrative adjudication now in the village. So a lot of these people don't have to go to King County Court to follow through with the ticket or administrative ticket, but also the money that's accrued from the fees and fines goes directly to the village. So hopefully that will turn things around. We just got that settled with the end of last term and then got the collections agency set with the administrative adjudication. So we have that whole process ready to go. And it's been going now for about 1-2 months with the collection.
Yeah. So with code enforcement, if you look on the financials for the last several years, the amount that we've received is 0. The idea behind it is that this is not about a moneymaker for the village. This is about compliance. So when the person comes into compliance, then the ticket is voided. Okay, and so Jeff works with them to ensure that the problem is fixed in a timely manner. And, as long as I've been here, all of the problems have been fixed within that time frame. Okay? That said, okay, Jeff works on the basis of complaints. He does not actively go out looking for violations as some communities do, okay? He relies on the residents to file a complaint about the issue. Okay? Part of this is a cost savings for the village. We're not having to pay him to drive around looking for the problems when, you know, his two eyes versus the 3,214 people who live here, you know, can more effectively let him know where the problems are. You can go on the village website and there's a code enforcement complaint form. You just fill that out. You can even be anonymous. And, you know, you get the information to him and he'll follow up on it.
But if like the 3,000 people make complaints, in 1,500 of those are incorrect because they don't know the codes, so he's on a
Right.
wild goose case then. So
Right.
that's still a cost,
There
so
is
why
a
not?
cost. Yeah,
And what if you tell someone you gotta clean this junk off your driveway, and then they don't, and then nothing happens?
no,
They don't
so
come
what
to it, and They
happens,
don't do anything, so there's no compliance.
so what the process is he receives the complaint. He verifies the complaint. He then sends them a letter and they've got X number of days to fix the problem. If they don't fix the problem within those days, he issues a citation. He then works with them after the issuance of the citation to fix the problem. Okay, some problems take longer to fix than others. If it's, you know, junk on the driveway is one thing. You know, someone needed the side of their house painted, you know, and it was an elderly person, you know, obviously that person couldn't do it themselves, so then they had to, you know, get someone, and then there's a financial issue with them being able to pay it, but he worked with them until they got the issue resolved. So, you know, we have to follow the procedures. We can't just, you know, slap a fine on everything we see and, you know, and make them pay. They have to receive notice and they have to have an opportunity to correct the situation.
And that's largely why we want to come up with this seasonal top 10 is because, Brian, of what you said, that it hasn't been consistently upheld over the years. So rather than come March, Andy gets a whole bunch of violations from the code enforcement because we said, okay, go write up everything. We want to send it out in probably the newsletters, give everybody proper notice of these are the main focuses for the season. Now, if there's other violations, you're susceptible to being held responsible for those. But this will start kind of giving everybody like notice of we're paying more attention now. So we are working on that because I know that enforcement helps with you guys finding that the government is reliable and that you can count on consistent standards. So I would like to see that happen, and that's something we're going to work on. Yes, Bill.
So you just have a seasonal top 10 or 3 or whatever. Are you planning to publish any of that? So that
Yes,
be proactive?
yeah, I'd like to put it in the newsletter, and then Clerk Reed has started using the Facebook page. And we're using the website much more now. So they'll be published. We'll bring it up in the town hall meetings. We just haven't had an opportunity to sit down and get that assembled. But that was on the list that I brought up at the beginning of the year. So we're working on that to get going for spring. From the
That should be one of the things that gets discussed at this table when we have meetings. So people that are watching from home or here recognize that it's an ongoing.
Yep.
topic. Yes.
So since you're updating the ordinances,
Mhm.
Are you going to update the form that you give to new residents with those new ordinances?
I'm actually not familiar with the form that's given to the new residences. I know that we had talked about having a new homeowner's guide. So we'll try and reconcile the two together. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things that go on in the village that sometimes aren't conveyed to new people. And I'd like to make sure that it's an accurate portrayal so that everybody can live more harmoniously and they're, you know, what the expectations are of the community that they want to move into.
Great, thank you.
The code is online and it's free to access.
Right, but a lot of people don't go online daily to look at that stuff.
And it would be good if it was not 745 pages, we could streamline and give a better idea. All right, There was code enforcement, code of conduct, anything else under general that I'd mentioned? All right, we're gonna move on to clerk. Under the clerk, we had the clerk's charity choice. Clerk Ree had brought to my attention a charitable opportunity at Christmas time, and I thought, or the holiday time. And I thought this would be a good opportunity for us just to start that tradition. And as President Pickett loved to remind everybody, the clerk is a non-speaking role. So I thought this would be a nice place for her to shine. And I think we did a great job this last year. I loved how much everybody brought out presents for the giving tree. So thank you for your contributions. Stay tuned for next holiday season and we'll see what she has. We're also looking to digitize a lot of our village records. Most everything are in file cabinets. I would like them online. So we're working on getting stuff scanned, uploaded, having more Excel spreadsheets, databases access for the trustees and ourselves to be able to do work online so we can access more information instead of having to come in and find the actual physical files. But that will be a transition and a process. And there's a lot to scan and upload. So we're looking to get any volunteers. You know, anybody who wants to do an unpaid internship, it's an experience. We're also, Village Online Presence, website and Facebook. I think you're all aware that Jen has started up the Facebook page. Thank you very much for doing that. We're looking to use that as an area to give information out. We're going to start slowly and with purpose. So it is generally without comments right now. We just want us to be able to send information out. And then once we kind of get that rhythm down, we will see, we'll see how we're progressing. All right, any questions on the clerk? Under communications, marketing and outreach, there's the proposal of ask the village table at the market in the Hollow during the summertime. I broached it with Christine Fuqua last year. I'd like to have a table there. I can sit at the table, maybe a trustee or maybe one of the staff members. If you want to talk to somebody from Public Works, maybe we can convince Kyle to come out and join us or one of the officers. So you can have a more informal setting to get to know people who work here, ask questions, and just have some approachability, especially because the market is just such a great setting and it's one of my favorite things. So I'd love to participate in that. Again, we have Village website and the Facebook page. Elgin area tourism, we're working on a relationship with the Explore Elgin area with Chris Lee Murphy. She's been doing a great job of including the Village of Sleepy Hollow in all of their posts. And as soon as we have events, the market, if there's school events, if there's PTC, service club, if there's any events that are the village, let us know and we can send that to Chris Lee Murphy and there's free advertising. It's the tourism board reaches out 200 miles and 50 miles from, or 50 miles from here. And it's free advertising. We don't have to pay into it because the funds for the Explore Elgin area come from hotel income and we don't have any. So we just have to submit a letter of support and we get free advertising. And then also if we send stuff in 2 months in advance, we can send it to Explore Illinois and that goes on the Illinois-wide tourism website. So there's a lot of ways to get individuals here for some of our festivals and markets and Pinewood derbies, what have you. I think it'd be great to expand from just the residents participating. I also I'm looking forward to utilizing a relationship with Northern Kane County Chamber of Commerce, which Trustee Hoff is a member of, and Melissa Hernandez does a great job of getting everybody involved and participating. And then making sure that our meetings are streaming on Zoom and YouTube. And if there's any additional, I've been talking with John Florence and Melissa Powell back there about being able to use Zoom and during the meetings where we can upload the documents. So this spreadsheet, we're getting there. In theory, we should be able to have it up here so that people who are at home listening or you sitting in the audience can see what's going on. Especially when we're dealing with the finance committee and numbers, it'd be nice for you guys to be able to follow along with the documents we have here, which also had to do with providing an agenda packet. We are working on getting those drafts done by Wednesday to submit by Friday, but we do have to wait until Fridays because of the warrants. But we're trying to get it out and we're much closer to getting the agenda packets out with the agendas for the residents when you come into the meetings. Any questions on communications, marketing, outreach, or suggestions? Finance? Anybody? The water main replacement project? Any questions? So I know we're all here for that.
They need to know a little more about.
They do, yes.
What it is.
All right, so under the finance section, we have a water main project finance update from Mr. Hop, for trustee Hop.
All right,
Billy, ready?
get your clock ready.
All right.
I don't know, can anybody see these push pins?
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Either one.
I haven't seen a picture.
Oh, the black guys.
Glasses. Spent a lot of time on this. All right. So over the last 120 days, I have immersed myself into everything I could to figure out how this village can afford to replace our water mains. For a little background and for all this with you, Sleepy Hollow buys our water from Elgin. There's two main directional mains come in, the one under Randall and 90, and then the one at McLean and the bridge of 90. Those are the two mains that come in to feed all the water to our village. That water is 60% derived from the Fox River and 40% from wells. Our water mains have reached their useful life with everything I've researched. Our water mains are on the east side are made of ductile iron. And I have. Well, that's too heavy. This is ductile iron, just so everybody can see. Yes, and it's lined with a little 1/8 inch of concrete and then a coating. And that's where your water's coming through for your house. So if anybody, I don't know, it's here if you want to come in. Watch out, baby. See how heavy that sucker is. Okay. But the problem with this is on the east side is, as we all know, if you live on the east side, the ground is very moist. Okay. And what's going to happen with this and sitting in water? It's going to rust. So I have videos of our water main breaks that we've had. And after they dig the hole and I go down there and take pictures, you can see that it's just rusted through there. And there's a company called Water Services that Kyle has found, and thank God, that does it as efficiently and as quickly as possible for the best possible price out there. I'm convinced of that. And they're Johnny on the spot, because the minute a water main happens, we're losing water that we're paying for from Elgin. And I can't get a resident to pay us back. So it's called efficiency. And I got the efficiency report combined east and west. It's about 61% efficiency. You should never have anything that low. West side's about 84, east side's in the 60s.
Is that because of the brakes?
Well, it's a lot of reasons.
Factor, brakes, MetroNet's using, we have a hydrant meter for MetroNet. They use water on the east side right now, so that meter hasn't reported in the data yet, so efficiency is gonna be affected.
But notoriously, the east side is always a little less, or quite a bit less efficient. So another sign, we need to do something, okay? And I see the dollars that we're spending on water main breaks. Since July 31st of 20, we've had 47 water main breaks. That's what all these little push pins are, okay? So west side, we have had 13. Not the end of the world. You know, it's gonna happen. Every village has it. Saddle Club, the water main is made of PVC. Okay, not gonna rust. It's holding up really, really well. Because those homes were probably built in '86, so they're, 40 years old. But the east side, the original Sleepy Hollow was started in '58. We're 68 years old. The useful life of ductile iron is 50 to 60 years. So you can see our main problems, and this is what we've zeroed in on, are Hillcrest, especially right here at Hazel Court entrance. I hope you guys can see this. We've had 5 breaks in a 12-foot span. And if you've ever seen how they patch it, and if you haven't, you want to see, I got video to show you what they do. They put a stainless steel clamp around it about that big. It goes around the pipe and then it stops. But that is not a permanent fix. It's a temporary fix. And Kyle aptly pointed that out to me at some time. So this is what we want to fix. This Hillcrest. The board has approved the engineering and the permitting to do this. We're still deciding now if we're going to do all of it or a portion of it based on what available funds we have. After that gets repaired, you're going to see the next big area of breaks is at Winmore up by the pool. Okay, so that's what we want to probably go from here up to here for our second project. This project is $966,000. So we all pay a $30 demand fee on our water bill. It's not enough to pay for what we have ahead of us, people. So I want you to be aware. Raises are going to be coming,
What's the
but
cost?
we won't go into that.
What's the cost of an average fix when something breaks?
$6,000. So we've had 47 fix or 47 main breaks, cost us $283 over the 4.5 years.
And Bill, does that include the lost water?
No, and that
Not the,
does not include the loss of our water.
Right.
Okay,
well over 300.
so way more detail than I can get into in 5 minutes, but so again, the material of choice with all my research of talking with a lot of experts in the field, even a company that's out of Crystal Lake, Baxter Woodman, these guys are the pros. For that situation on Hillcrest, this is called HD. It's not that heavy. You can feel it, touch it, whatever you want. You see the thickness of it. It's a little bit more flexible than cast iron would be at that ground. As Kyle says, if you're sitting there in the culvert on Hillcrest and a garbage truck goes by, you can feel the earth shift. So we're looking at this for the rust standpoint and for being a little more flexible. Okay. And I think it'll last a good 75 years.
What is it supposed to last?
It'll last 100 years. HDPE's got 100-year life.
Thank
So I'm probably out of time, but project engineering and permitting has been approved by the board for Gerald Hines and Associates in East Dundee to start that process. We hope to get a shovel or a excavator in the ground to get some of that done on Hillcrest this year. Again, like I said, it's 2,760 feet of pipe for the whole stretch from Thoroughbred all the way to Locust. And it's best estimate at this point, it's $350 a foot to put that pipe in installed. So that's $966,000 plus engineering costs and any contingencies that would arise. Okay, that's it from my.
You talked about the doing partial or doing the full length. Are we getting a discount if we decide to do the full length now? Because they don't have to bring in equipment out and stuff like that, or pretty much 300 something per foot period?
I don't
Well-
think it'll be a discount. It wouldn't be a discount. But if we did half of that, you just know that if the next time we do the rest of it, it's gonna be more expensive than
Yeah.
doing it this year, because the cost of labor goes up, materials goes up.
Okay,
So there's no discount.
It's cheaper to do it at
No
once.
discount.
Start getting into the cash flow for the pay. You do an alternate.
But
But with this being, with this guy here, would you like a bigger job for a discount?
well, that's this, I forgot to mention, and this is what all of you really need to think hard about when we put an increase in, because it's coming, is inflation. 2014, we did some water main repairs on Bull Bremel, and where else were they, Kyle?
The cul-de-sacs off of Winmore and some up on Joy. I
Okay,
believe. I can't remember all of them.
and at that time, it was $150 a foot. to put it in. 12 years later, it's $350. COVID really threw a monkey wrench into all of those costs, and they're not going back. So if we don't do something as a village, you'll love living here, you'll love the eclectic style that we all have. You got to realize the fact that we've only got 16 businesses in this community. And half of those probably don't generate sales tax revenue for us. So we have nothing but property tax. And the water department is an enterprise fund that has to pay and support itself through billing you and building our own infrastructure. So, any other questions? Yes,
I'm at the corner of Hillcrest Park and Hillcrest Drive, and they came out and located late last week. And
who did?
he told me
USIC did and we did as well.
it was not USIC. It was somebody else.
Blue flags,
They were blue flags,
Yeah,
but they were
that's-
not driving US.
that was water services.
Okay, but they were still out locating.
Yeah,
Which is fine, and I asked him why they were locating. And he said it was for the water main project
Yep.
and that they were gonna be directional boring. And he said that they were gonna start directional boring this week. So is that part of the water main? project? Is
maybe
it
talk to the wrong
different?
person. No, so I had water services go out to locate the main for the engineering firm. They flew a drone up there today for their engineering purposes. But they're also, MetroNet is also coming in doing Hillcrest right now in their directional
Great.
boring
Awesome.
right now.
So fabulous. Somebody else locating utilities for them, because that's been terrible. Okay, so then he was incorrect. It was not part of the water main.
MetroNet is the ones doing the directional boring. We haven't started any construction. We haven't even put it out to bid yet.
Perfect.
So.
Okay, so I don't know if this is the time to bring this up or not, but while you're doing this. It seems like it would make sense to me, cause I am on Hillcrest and Rainbow. And we're waiting for a place where we can hook up to get the city water. And when's that gonna happen? And can't you just do it with this?
If you,
Do you want to go there?
I would.
Okay.
So there, right now, we've been working on this with the finance committee. I take that fine now. We're working on that finance
Got
committee.
it, got it.
We've been working with the finance committee now for a number of months, with respect to getting Hillcrest water main replaced. When we first started, the prospect was it was gonna be 4 to 5 years before we could even potentially break ground, because we'd be on a waiting list with the Illinois EPA, which is a low interest loan of 2.1%. Then, when we realized that was not necessarily a guarantee, we looked for other options. The next thing we found out was a bond or SSA, which would be a higher percentage, but we would have more guarantee that we could start sooner in the next couple of years once we go through the application process. Bill and Eugene did not stop, and the finance committee did not stop, so they came up with potentially us using the monies we have reserved in sewage as a loan to help with the water main replacement, thereby not actually accruing any or incurring any interest for the residents. In fact, actually saving interest. But with that, this project is close to $1 million just for the water main replacement. We want to go from well to water, but right now the necessity is making sure that we have working water mains. It does make sense. In fact, I think it makes great sense for us to go all the way from Locust to Thoroughbred, slip on down, do the loop down into Rainbow. It makes great sense, but when you start adding up all of the money, that's where I'm getting concerned. And so what I want the board and the staff and everybody to consider is we're going through all of the projects that we want to accomplish: roads and parks, repairing certain curbs, salary bumps, water main repair. And once we start adding that all up, it's apples to oranges in some cases, but it's apples, oranges, and bananas, but they're all going to be coming out of the same wallet, which is yours. So I don't want us to commit to a very large project and then a couple more medium and large projects and then a couple more and do it all piecemeal. And next thing we know, nobody can afford to live here anymore. So we're going to take a look at the whole budget before we make full decisions. And that's why we delayed the financial decision on the water main project, to take into consideration the full impact it's going to have on the residents and your taxes. Billy?
So while we all understand the priority, we've been listening to this for quite a while now, and we all know that this has been an ongoing problem. Is there any way that you guys could provide the residents that are asking for city water a timeline, the ability for us to plan accordingly, so that if we have to financially spend any money to fix things temporarily until we get what we're asking for? We have not heard that. I have been to many meetings now, and I haven't heard the plan of what that stage looks like. And if we're gonna be waiting 5, 6, 7, 8 years, what is that timeline? That's all we're asking for.
So that's a large part of the reason for this town hall. I gave this list to the board about a month ago. We started discussing the priorities and the financial requirements and future outlooks on these. And now I wanted the input from the residents, and then what we'll do is come back, and my goal is to come up with a strategitic calendar for 1, 3, 5, and 10 years. So we can start to see how long some of these things will have to be pushed out, or what can happen sooner. But I wanted to take a look at it from the whole perspective and then present a plan to you guys. I don't have it right now, but because we're just in the early stages of going through all of the different topics we wanted to cover. But I'm hoping, I don't want to say hoping. My goal is, let's see, April is when we'll be figuring out our appropriations. And then with the idea of going to a referendum a year from April, we'll have to have a lot of that planned out to know how much we want to start broaching with the residents and have an idea what projects we want to pursue. So we will have feedback for you. I'd like to say a start of feedback by April, and really we're going to see more feedback and an idea closer to July. Because that's when we'd have to start forming the referendum language we'd want to submit it for an application to the County Board of Elections. So we'll have a better idea then of what we're going to try and accomplish and for how long.
I think that's what's gonna be important to us as residents, to determine what financial obligations we're gonna have prior to even spending any money. To get the city, main water, because that's gonna cost us money too.
It is, yeah.
So it's important that we look at it holistically, and I don't feel like we're looking at it holistically because we're looking at it financially at the same time, so it's kind of tough to look at both. But it's important for us to raise the level of awareness of what the whole entire village needs, and then plan accordingly, and not just every year plan pieces of it.
That's the
Because
goal.
then we're back to what Eugene mentioned, the way Sleepy Hollow was originally built.
That is the goal, yes. A thorough plan for not just doing something each year, but 1, 3, 5, 10. So we actually have a plan, and there's a structure and a plan for people ahead of us. Yep. Thank you. And
So just built into the really kind of grim picture of the state of affairs for our existing water.
Could you speak up just a little bit?
You not hear me?
No.
Bill painted a pretty grim picture of what things look like on the water main between Thoroughbred and Locust on Hillcrest. And I can't imagine we're gonna have less water breaks this year to the main than we've had in the last couple of years. Are you looking to start the project between Thoroughbred and Locust this year? Or are you just gathering data right now, coming up with a plan so that we can tackle it next year?
We've asked the engineer to go ahead and come up with a plan. It takes a number of months for the Illinois EPA and one other to return the permit applications to us. We've given him permission to do that. That gives us a little bit of a time saves while we figure out the budget, if we want to do the whole project from Thoroughbred to Locust, or if we're going to do half of it, which is the main areas where it had the most breaks. But yeah, we're looking to make that decision on the finances and how much we're going to do this year, probably by April, and then move forward so that they'll be breaking ground ideally by fall, I think, or September.
July 1st.
Oh, July.
It's a 5-month project to do it all. I'm certainly in favor of doing it because I see all that I've seen and studied on it. It's needed. But the residents are gonna have to, knowing, being on the finance committee and everything else, guys, the $30 demand fee doesn't build up a reserve fast enough to pay $1 million projects. We have 1,050 residents on city water. We have 157 on well. You do the math.
So how much are you looking to increase?
Well, that's the big debate right now. So the finance committee came back with a number, okay,
Get the rate.
should be of $50. That would make that demand fee go up to 80. So, and we were planning a 6-month total project time. We've had many discussions about that. I've received letters from Highland Lake, from our engineer today, as a matter of fact, that shows that how they had to do the same thing. We're not the only village in the same predicament. They're everywhere. Everybody's gonna have to raise up. Water's the most important thing that this village can deliver to your door. So, but 50 probably is a little high in my estimation, now that I've had a lot of time to think about it. But now we're thinking gradually bring it to that. So today, we're probably between raising it $25 or $10. If we do $10, it'll have to be $10 April 1st, $10 next year, $10 next year. So we get to the level that we are continually replacing our water mains out there. We have no choice, people, no choice.
It's really an investment in our own community.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's nowhere else to go for it.
And it's here, this is another little stat. I'm sorry, Courtney. But in my interviews with Baxter Woodman, a water treatment plant, if we wanted to get away from Elgin or West Indy or whomever, we want to do ourselves, is $20 million investment. Not gonna happen, people. Not gonna happen. And a water tower is $6 million. So just let that sink in. So we are unique. It's a beautiful environment here. I've lived here 35 years. I don't want to move. It's gonna cost us more because we have to pay for our water from Elgin, but we also have to deliver it to you on our dime with the water mains.
I'm gonna interject here for just a second because we're at 7:15 and we still have about 5 other subjects to go on. This was the big topic that needed to be discussed. And what I wanted to be able to do is get this broached by Bill, give you a very brief overview because this has been discussed endlessly in finance committee and we're still not at a resolution yet. We know we're moving forward with it. We're just trying to figure out the financing of it and how much. We will have more meetings and more presentations on this for more detail. And as well as please pay attention to the finance committee meetings. But I do want to just check and make sure that there aren't any questions for the other topics. And then I will come back to you with the hat in the back. Is that cool? Thank you. So setting water aside for just a moment, moving on to roads and parks. We have the Sabatino Park paths, speed humps.
Question, just on roads and parks, I don't know, but is there a way that we could make this more of a friendly golf cart community?
That is a topic that has been broached. We're looking into, so it kind of falls under the category of e-bikes, e-scooters. Some residents have brought up ATVs, street legal ATVs and golf carts. We are looking into it.
I mean, our speed limits are 25, so that's already below what the state says you can have a golf cart going with just an orange sign. But we have special ordinances that say you can't. So it's like, I mean, we're in a small, I mean, our subdivisions were designed with a campground mentality, right? That's why none of our roads are straight. They all curve around. Like, it sounds like perfect to have golf carts to go visit my neighbors that are a couple blocks away.
I'm Steve Diatley, I'm trustee with Police and Public Safety. It's a very big safety concern. We already have kids with bicycles on the streets. We have no sidewalks. So it becomes a very big safety issue that comes to thought that people have brought up to me and say, why are we thinking of putting golf carts on the road when we already have a problem with our roads are narrower. Our roads aren't standard widths from some communities. So those are things we have to look at and consider.
I mean, that's fair,
going
but like,
forward.
the same time, we're only doing 25 in a car. And secondly, like, I just.
Nobody. How is it 25?
You're also supposed to be doing 20 and they take your car.
And there's so many.
And I passed probably 50 walkers today driving where I had to go back and forth. And I think we all as residents make very good arrangements for that. And if a golf cart's driving on the same side of the road, like, they're basically doing 25 anyways, or 20, that's not much difference. So I don't see where the huge safety concern is.
You're the one person that is doing 25, because I walk every day. And I can't tell you how many times I've had to jump over, and you're the one person that does
No, there's
go.
more than one.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you. So thank you. But I agree, I have to agree with Steve that this has to be looked at because it is a safety issue for not only for the walkers, but for kids that are riding their bikes. And it is a safety issue. I saw a kid almost get hit because somebody was just flying and didn't even move over.
So where's the safety issue in driving a golf cart to somebody walking?
Because
I will tell you this will happen because I've seen it happen. If there's a golf cart on the road and you have 2 kids in front of you and 2 baby strollers, a car is going to try to pass you and get around you and the kids. There's the safety issue. You know, it's just a dangerous time. I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't care if it's in the car, the golf cart, or the kids. I don't want anybody to get hurt. So it's just a concern.
And to add to that, Steve, just the other day, I saw somebody in a golf cart had dust. Couldn't see them.
Really?
No headlights, no taillights on the thing. So
You could
then
have
you gotta
regulations
police
if you had
daytime,
taillights.
nighttime, long debate, but.
If I can interject,
all.
sorry, what's your name back there?
My name's Rich.
Hi, Rich. We have been exploring this option. The very first 2 weeks that I took office, I ran into Dan Pearson, the new village president of East Dundee, and he passed golf carts. And I asked him, I said, thanks a lot for that. Now my residents are gonna want golf carts. I have mixed feelings on it. I think that it could do, I think it fits the charm of the village. And from an environmental standpoint, I always like the idea of something that's like, you're not getting in your truck to drive over to your neighbors, using something smaller. The chief and I kind of talked about it. He's looking into it. The catch right now is that because of e-bikes and e-scooters, there's a lot of legislation and inconsistent ordinances between villages and then legislation being pondered at the state level. Right now, there's a House bill going through for permitting e-bikes for kids under 16 that don't go above 25. It's, I think, class 3 or level 3. That's something that they're considering. Somebody approached me with ATVs and I wanted to learn more about what it means to be street legal and what speeds they can go to and the safety concerns. So we are considering it. If you have more information that you can give us or want to come in and talk to trustee Diatley, the roads or police and public safety, trustee Canelli with roads, myself or the chief, so that we can get some more information. If you have information that differs from what we have, that would be really helpful. I think yes.
Could I just suggest if it helps, could you reach out to like Huntley with Del Webb and East Dundee and like get their stats on golf cart accidents?
And
See
actually,
if that actually exists?
there is a village, Chrisley Murphy, the woman who is the CEO of Elgin area, Explore Elgin area, in talking about Sleepy Hollow, she asked about golf carts. And I said, you know, people approach this, but you know, a lot of people are hesitant. She said, I don't see why. My town's had them for as long as she'd lived there, and she'd been there for about, I think, 12 to 15 years. So we're gonna arrange to go out and visit during the springtime. I didn't really want to check out the golf carts, you know, during those negative 20-degree days in January. But it's a good example of a town that's a modest sized town. We can see what works, what doesn't work, if it would mesh with the village. I mean, no promises, but we'll do the research.
What town is it?
I don't have it written down right now, I'm sorry. I will get, I'll.
Does the
email it
town
to you.
have sidewalks?
Johnsburg, there's a community in Johnsburg that that does golf carts. They do not have sidewalks.
Yeah, why don't you have kids? I mean, Del Webb doesn't have kids living there. They don't have bikes and wagons and dogs. and-
All of those grounds.
Yeah, but okay.
Those-
They don't have high school kids. or-
They do.
Okay. Well, I will make sure that we follow up on this in future meetings to give you some more feedback on that. Christine,
I've just wanted to,
guys, let's listen up.
talk about snow plowing on Winmore and I did send an email to Mr. Canali about this in the winter. The buses are trying to go and they're going 25, so they say. And you have the other cars coming, and when the street, when Winmore is not plowed to the point where it needs to be, and you can see that it has a curve to the snow on the ground, it's very dangerous, and you have kids out there waiting at the bus stops when there's snow. You guys do a great job, but I don't know if there's a way to just make sure that we get the full width of Winmore, because it doesn't matter when it is, people are gonna speed on Winmore, and I almost got hit in one straight path 3 different times. One was a bus, one was Aramark, and then one was just a regular vehicle. I just, the width of Winmar, it was just too thin. And I took pictures and I sent it. I don't know what happened, but I still have those photos, so I could still show you where it was like 2 to 3 feet on each side loss when it snowed.
There's always gonna be a foot and a half of loss.
And this was a lot. I mean, I
I
appreciate that.
wanna argue with you.
No, I know.
Because of the mailbox and no curbs, We don't want to go over too far to damage the side, hit mailboxes. There are probably areas where it could be wire, sure. It's not as easy as it's said. to
I'm
be.
not, and I understand that, I completely understand that, and I don't want it to seem like I am complaining, but I'm not like trying to attack you complain, but it was very visible that it was much thinner than it should have been. And people were having to like go off onto the side, to not get hit.
I'm very sorry, but I don't remember seeing the email, so I apologize. So
Is this something that you could, Paul and Kyle, you could do a second swing by?
Yeah, if anybody has any complaints about any of the snow fine.
Well, and yeah, that was, and my email was like, hey, I completely understand you have new snow, but you know, it just.
You can always, I always suggest call, leave a message if you can't get a hold of anybody, and then we'll double back and make sure that we can get it wider.
If you want to send me that email, I'll forward it to both of them.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else with respect to roads and parks? All right, moving on to planning and zoning. Oh, no, roads and parks. Water and sewage, I'm sorry, which we generally addressed already with the financing. Any other questions on water and?
I'm gonna go back a subject to roads.
Okay.
I mean, I was out of town, so I don't know if it's gonna handle this. I saw something with a big project there, 72 in Randall.
I'm sorry, I heard you're out of town and somebody.
There's a big project coming. I'm just afraid of like, a lot of people be cutting through Joy Lane.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So they're planning-
If I could direct everybody's attention back to that doorway right there, one of our officers is standing back, and if you step forward. This is one of our new officers, Officer Kozlowski. And when I made a reference in a meeting recently about being here every day, multiple weeks, and seeing somebody pulled over on Sleepy Hollow Road and Thoroughbred constantly, it's our two new officers who are out there, and our other officers are wonderful, thank you guys. But they are notable in following up and tracking down speeders and people who are driving through. So we'll keep an eye on it. The new sign on Joy, I've gotten a lot of remarks from people who have cut through the village. They asked me, Courtney, did you put that sign up that told me to slow down? Courtney, did you do that? I was like, well, actually, it wasn't me. But they've noticed it. They're more concerned about police sitting down at the bottom of the hill there. They've been surprised by some of the locations. So the reputation of Sleepy Hollow and our police, no offense, but lurking or being there to catch you if you're speeding is starting to ramp back up, which I'm encouraged by, yeah. So we will, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. I know, I just saw them out working today and marking, and
It could
with
change
construction
the
comes,
traffic flow,
yeah,
but
with
it's-
construction comes people trying to avoid construction traffic, so. All right, back to water and sewer. Back.
You said something about Sabatino trails, walking paths?
Yes, Sabatino Park paths. We have discussed wanting to make sure that we have accessibility in Sabatino Park and all of our park areas. So Trustee Kennelly has been looking into how we can get pathways to our pavilion, to gazebo, to the playground. And we're trying to get some numbers up for that so we can put that into the appropriations budget come April.
But this is for like ADA compliance pathways, not beyond, not making paths. Other than from the parking lot to the playground, from the playground. That's something you're interested in?
Just a walk, like a short path?
It's really more of a, it'd be like 5 feet wide, and it's really for wheelchair accessibility.
You're talking more of a walking path through the wetland area and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's something we'd like to look into. It's on our environmental list of just kind of looking into trails and stuff, but we don't have any specific plans for it. That's more of a goal or aspiration down the road.
Google Earth 2020, it's really interesting.
Google Earth 2020.
And look at the way it used to flow.
The creek or?
Everything from 2020, even all the way back to 2000. It's really cool in 2000. There was a river back there.
Yeah.
So,
Back there.
coming out of Lake Sharon.
Sleepy Creek.
Oh, Sleepy Creek. Yeah, okay. Yes, I'd like to work on Sleepy Creek to return it to its healthy status. Let's see, roads and parks. Bill, did you want to address, there was something else about the bike path on Bonkoski?
Yeah, so if you know, on the north side of Bunkowski Road, West Dundee has a bike path. You really don't even know it's there because it's up, it's elevated. But it stops right at the boundary between our village and West Dundee. The homeowner on the corner has an interest in having it, extended on the Sleepy Hollow side. We've looked into it and we've already put about $15,000 in the budget, but it's gonna be considerably more to do that. And in my opinion, it really only serves a few people at the Bluffs. The cost has gone up to, West Dundee's come back with a proposal of about $60,000 and they're asking us to go halfway. And I don't think that's fair because most of what they would have to redo is because what they built is not ADA compliant. So you have to slope it down X degrees based on the distance. So I think most of the expense should be that. But, so that has to be negotiated, but I also, from a village standpoint, I see that it only really benefits, I'm not sure how many people, but it benefits the Bluffs, perhaps. So does the village want to spend that kind of money for what I think is really minimal use to the village? It's not like something we'd be spending at Sabatino or where the whole community comes together. So I might be suggesting we go try to negotiate what the real number is going to be with West Dundee. And then if we still need more than the money we budgeted, I'm thinking I'd go to the HOA because there's an HOA in the Bluffs and see if that's something that they would want to invest in. So
I believe Illinois was giving out free money last year, and we had a plan to connect bicycle paths or walking paths between two areas. Did we take advantage of that at all?
No.
Okay.
That's.
I mean, we're right in between two walking paths and two bike paths, so.
We've looked into that stuff before. Usually those are OSLA grants. And there's a 50% matching on it, and usually the projects start at like 300,000. And we don't have 300,000 to put in a bike path when we've got $1 million worth of a water system that needs to be replaced.
Can I just add to that? So I live on Locust and Acorn. And we ride, and ever since my kids were little, we go through the bluffs down and there's a geocache spot right there. So we would geocache there. And if you don't know what it's like, they hide stuff. But I would have to take my bike with my bike trailer or my stroller, go through that rugged area to go onto that bike path, go across that Angle Tarn area or the West Dundee,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's up to
And then
them.
there's another bike path that goes all the way along the back there. That is now where the Woodlands is and FCC Dundee, and then go through there, down from Beacon over to Casey's, all that. So there, it does connect and we would do this big circle. And the worst part was that Sleepy Hollow bit where you would go from the bluffs to that bike path. And so I don't know if your comment is 100% that's only benefiting the bluffs. I do think that other residents would use it if it was there. It's just a pain in the ass.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I
but it would
never
be-
like.
it would create a great- it would be a great loop. It's just, you're uphill
Yep.
and you've got trees and bushes and all sorts of stuff, but it is a great path. And now with the new playground over there, not to take away from Sabatino, but it is still a great way to get over there. So
Okay.
not that I want to spend 60,000 for 15 feet, not even that, 10 feet.
It would have to be longer just because of the way the terrain is there.
Yeah,
We
but I
can't
do
come
think it
right
would be
down to the
beneficial.
front.
It would be cool, because even if you're waiting there to get over to Frontenac, it's still, it's very awkward.
It is.
It is,
We've
but
been looking at this for the last 4 years and when
hear you.
we've been looking at this for the last four years. When President Pickett was here, his goal was to have it go all the way down Bonkowski to Jelky Creek. But there was not a cost-effective way that we could have figured it out. We had allocated $15,000 for the project. Well, we're like 13,000 already for engineering alone, where we haven't even broken ground.
right,
And the majority of that is like you're saying, there's only really 15 feet in Sleepy Hollow. Everything else is West Dundee, but they want us to pay to have their path. And I'm not willing to do that.
no, I mean, I just wanted to say people do use it. It's not just the bluffs. but-
Yeah, I have no objection to it, but I'm not gonna pay to benefit West Dundee at the cost of Sleepy Hollow.
Well, that's why I think we have to still discuss it with them,
Yeah.
because what they're asking for, I think is just ridiculous. So it seems to me like.
I just
the
didn't want you to think it was
negotiation.
just bluffs that
Yeah.
would use it. I mean, there are,
Okay, thank you.
you know, yeah.
Okay.
All right, we are at 7:30. I know we haven't hit 3 more subjects, so if I could get a raise of hands, if anybody has, I know a few of you had some specific questions or things you want to bring up. Can you just raise your hand so I can see you? That one right there. Brian, did you want to?
I mean, the usual,
Okay.
you know.
All right, I'm sorry, what's your name? Chef. That's Brian's. All right, so we're moving into planning and zoning. Any questions on planning and zoning? Go ahead.
So is it something we can get or no? I mean.
No. We can't right now, but if you're interested, the gentleman right there named Brian Pirtle. Sorry, not you, gentleman. We've been in discussions and Steve, and really what we need is a group of concerned residents who are interested in putting in some of the work to figure out what, with planning and zoning, what could work with the different areas in the community. And there's legwork to it, and it would end up coming to a vote, but no, we can't do it right now because of the way the ordinances are, but yes, if we can come up with a solution. And this will engage, this also means engaging with people who don't want sheds to find out what their concerns are. Sometimes it's a matter of misconceptions, sometimes there's very real concerns that need to be addressed, and if we can work on that, please get some people together and then we can approach planning and zoning. We can start working on it, but yes.
If I could say, one of the big hurdles that we face is that when this village was established, they didn't want sheds. And there were covenants built into the deeds of the properties that prevented it. And so it's kind of hard to say, well, you can have a shed, but you can't. So if it's not fair for one or for everybody, it's not fair, you know.
Yeah, it has to be for everyone, you know, but keeping, let's say, lawnmower and stuff in the garage and having my 12 cars on the driveway makes no sense, right? It would be nice to have a shed with the lawnmower.
My family's been here since 84. Even back in 84, sheds was a hot button issue.
Yeah, but some will move out,
Hang on one second. I think what we've seen over the last 4 decades is a bit of a softening on it, and that's one of the reasons I think we've kind of come to a. With the survey, we've seen the differences go lower. So I think it's worth the conversation and to see if, hey guys, thank you. Yes, if you want to talk with Brian, and maybe help participate with this committee, that would be fantastic. All right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll rummage up the committee, just, I need a.
And I'm using the term committee loosely. I'm sorry. It's not a formal
I know
committee
we
right
talked-
now.
We
here.
talked about it,
Yeah.
so I'm just looking to get that going, and we're basically just waiting in the wind. I mean, if you want me to sit down with planning and zoning and we want to get that started, just green light me and we'll go. So I know we wanted to do a committee, we wanted to get some people for and some people against, have some multiple roundtable discussions. You know, there's gonna be some process here, but like, we're just sort of letting everyone settle in, get the village going, but like, we do want to get the ball rolling. So I'm just waiting to be greenlit. I'll come to the table with people that want to talk about it. We're asking for other people to come to the table to talk maybe against us, and let's have an open discussion. But at this point, like, most of these conversations, people either, I don't want them, but I also want no participation in it. So like, we'll come to the table, but like, if you don't want to oppose us, then like, there's no opposition in my mind at this point. So it's getting real difficult, because the people that want it are very forward thinking and very ready to do this, but nobody wants to have a discussion with us.
Okay.
So we're ready to go with planning and zoning, and we'll.
I didn't realize you were ready to go. Why don't you go ahead and submit the names to me and then we can see what we can come up with. We don't have a building official yet.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. We'll need one to oversee the P and Z meetings. But yeah, I didn't last I spoke to you guys, you had indicated it was gonna be hard to get people to participate. And I said that is governance.
Yep.
So if you have them, then yeah, let's
Yeah,
have a
I'll come
meeting
with
with
what
them.
I've got, and if whoever wants to also come, and feel free to submit their names, or they want to oppose this, if not, we'll move forward, and the silence is all.
Well,
Well, no, it doesn't work.
How do you even know, how would anyone even tell you?
Exactly, we've talked about this at multiple meetings about.
Who's
I don't know.
Lots of village meetings, we've talked about starting committees.
No,
I've never heard it.
it's, there's lots of.
Okay.
I've never heard anything about it.
It's not important. The minutes are available online. You can search the old minutes. But going forward, for those who are not aware, we do want to start a committee. We will take anybody that's willing to sit down, multiple roundtable discussions, hash out things that we don't like, designs, placements, covenants, all the stuff that has basically just been a mystery to this entire village for 50 years. We want to talk about it. So whether you're for or you're against, we want a conversation. We don't want to just keep coming to these meetings and it erupting into, I don't want it, I do want
Well,
it. There's a discussion.
Brian, I appreciate that this is a passionate issue of yours, but this is the first notification I've had that you had people willing to participate. So the talk from before has been talked, but I think now there may be some forward movement of getting real discussions happening. So please reach back out to me, give me those names. And then we can see if there's some people from opposition. All of those of you who spoke up saying that you're not interested, please reach out to me, let me know. And then, yeah, we can start some back and forth, some actual discussion.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yes, Jeff.
Now, you're allowed to have small sheds attached to the side of the house.
Yes, you are.
And cement.
Yeah.
Space.
I think in this term sheds that they have always been describing has been detached. So there's, yes. I don't want to end this here because I know we still have 3 environment, planning and zoning, and water and sewage, as well as service club. But we do have a scheduled meeting for 7:30. It's 7:38 now. I'd like to have another town hall at some point in the next. I mean, we could continue this before the next meeting as well. I don't want you guys all to come back again. Let me see, are there any, I'm sorry.
We all live close.
We all live- Just don't drive your golf carts down. Are there any other topics right offhand that you came in specifically wanting to address that we can ensure would be on the next town hall or that we can address in upcoming board meetings? I want to make sure that stuff that you were interested in has been spoken about. We will absolutely, with the water mains, we will have more town halls like this with presentations, more detail, but most of them have been in-depth during the finance committee. And there have been discussions briefly during the board meetings. So we wanted to start getting some of that information out so you aren't taken by surprise and you start seeing all the steps we've gone through and starting to hear some of the dollar amounts and the scope of this project. So, all right, in that case, I want to thank everybody for coming. Trustees, did you have anything else to say?
Well, I think it's great that everybody came, and I think we need to get this on the calendar, because I have a feeling there's a lot more things that could be discussed.
All right, let me just ask we'll do
Do it during the board meeting.
actually, but we can't do an action item. Well, let's just discuss right now. First meeting of March, doing another town hall at 6:30.
Can you do it sooner? Because it seems like there's a lot to talk about and an hour is not enough time.
All right, then let's go into our board meeting, then we'll discuss, we'll figure out a time.
Or have a separate.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, yes, we're having a separate town hall meeting. That'll take, we'll have to figure out, because when we could attach it onto a Monday night meeting, it was pretty seamless. We just did an hour early.
Just have one on and off.
That should be
Well,
consistent.
our PNC meetings are on the opposite Mondays. So I don't know, that's what I want to figure out what we have available.
It's every meeting Tuesday. First meeting of the month, 6:30.
For now, let's plan on 6:30 on the first meeting of March, and if we can come up with something sooner than that, we will do that. Is there any objection from the trustees on that? 6:30 before the March meeting? All right,
Jennifer, I'm gonna go.
all right, we're gonna close the town hall, take a 2-minute break, and then we'll go to the board meeting. Bill.
in the front when it gets cold out of the chamber. And I'm seeing these cars getting. I just want some speed humps put in. Slow them down.
Regular board meeting, excuse me. If you wanted to speak at the regular board meeting, the sign up sheet is all in the back.
I got it. Two other cars. One was 45 and the other guy was 42. When did you get back in town? I don't know. Really? I'm just tired of them. Maybe it's time for a move.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh,
so the guys do
I've been on that. Sorry, we're 20 minutes over schedule. I think they left.
Yeah.
We don't let you out.
So if you did not hear me over the commotion earlier, if you do want to speak in the board meeting, there is a sign up sheet in back now. Thank you. All right, folks, it is 7:50 p.m. We're going to call this meeting to order. You please rise and say the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Clerk Reed, will take roll, please. Trustee Diatley.
Here.
Trustee Hobb.
Here.
Trustee McGuire. Here. Trustee Cannelly.
Here.
Trustee Thomas.
Here.
Trustee Schatzberger.
Here.
Everybody's here. Wonderful. Welcome back, Trustee Cannelly. Good to have you in attendance.
Thank you.
Or present.
Thank
Yeah, you know what I mean. Can I have a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes from February? Moved by McGuire, seconded by
Second.
Diatley. Comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion. Oh, thank you. Give us 1 moment. All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. We're getting the civility pledge. I think I could have said it by memory by now, but in the interest of civility. Yeah, we'll get it. Oh, really nice. Thank you, everybody who showed up. I really had no idea if I was gonna be planning for 4 or 40 people. And it was darn close to 40, so thank you all. So in light of that, I think everybody was incredibly respectful and civil, so thank you. I will read the civility pledge tonight. In the interest of civility, I pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community, and understanding that we each may have different ideas for achieving that objective, which I think we found tonight, and looking forward to working with all of you. All right, you know what, I was gonna do a recap of the town hall, but there was so much. I think some of the key issues we heard on was sheds or anti-sheds, various means of transportation in our community, the water main project and funding. There's something about we wanted to follow up on snow plows on Windmore and maybe connecting bike and walk paths. I will also look up about the Sleepy Creek and see how it has progressed or not progressed over the past 20 years. And we're looking into the east side's water efficiency to see how that's being impacted, and hopefully this water main thing will improve that. Water main replacement will improve that. Oh, and enforcement of ordinances. That's been something we've been wanting to work on. I think we're getting much closer to getting that formalized for coming into spring and this new year of outside work, which is usually where we see the code enforcement. All right, president's report. Last week, I had a wonderful lunch. I met with ECC's president, Dr. Peggy Heinrich. She and I met at some events prior, and she wanted to get together. And so I got to go to their culinary restaurant there, which if you've never been, it's Spartan Terrace Restaurant. Got a great culinary school there. In fact, one, if not two residents that I know of in our community have graduated from their program. My brother's dear friend ended up working at Signature Room. So we've got a great facility there, great chefs, and the kids are learning, young adults are learning how to service, hospitality, cooking. If you need anybody for your restaurant, maybe look at ECC's students. And if anybody knows of students, people who are interested in learning more about ECC, they're coming up with a lot more programs. And I was really interested. They're also building a manufacturing building now for their curriculum. It used to be crammed into a much smaller building on the side, but as we know, manufacturing's taking on a bit more of a role. So they're expanding on their program. They're very excited for that. There is a resident brought to my attention. There is a House bill. It's before the legislature. It's HB 1052 that is rather relevant to us. It's called the Food Truck Freedom Act. It's really interesting. It allows for food trucks that get a license in one jurisdiction to be able to, if they've passed their health department inspection and fire inspection, they'd have permission to cross over through different jurisdictions through the state without having to re-license or re-qualify. They would just have to meet the ordinance rules and kind of the criteria of where you're allowed to go and paying the certain fees. It's just yet another thing to showing that food trucks there are people who are interested in it, and it's a constantly evolving legislation and way of regulation. So we'll take a look at that and keep that in mind as we're coming up with the food truck or mobile food vendor licensing by the end of March that we talked about at the last meeting. Also, for those of you interested, since we're discussing a lot of budget stuff here, and this will probably impact our budget, tomorrow is the governor's budget address. It's at 12 noon. I think it's important to pay attention just because our finances have drastically changed. And I know that we are recognizing some of the limitations we have in this village. We want to be able to make up for some of that. We're also, grants and funding have just shifted in Illinois due to relationships beyond our control. And so I'm paying attention to see what the governor is considering, where they're going to be taking money out, where they're putting money in, and also seeing how that can coincide and benefit the village or what we have to do on our own. So I encourage everybody to listen in, whether you like the guy or not. I think it's on us to pay attention and know how our village is impacted within the state, within the greater scheme of the nation.
You know what it's gonna be on?
When?
What channel or?
It's usually on all the channels, I think. I mean, it's on the radio and.
Okay.
Facebook Live it.
Yeah. And then also, and I'm gonna send this out to the trustees. I just learned about this from Director Killinger earlier this year. There's a program called Suburban Purchasing Co-op. And it's a means by where smaller municipalities can use their collective power to make purchases. We all know the big price tag of our trucks and our plows and our police vehicles. This is a way to get a discount or a better price when there's more municipalities combined to purchase these. I just was forwarded an email from Metro West with their new catalog. I'll have Jen forward it to all of you tomorrow. But all kinds of different things, including even admin assistants and clerical work and office supplies. So there's a lot of things that we can look at, and I really didn't know about it prior until a few months ago. So seeing that catalog, it's gives you some options, some ideas, and yeah. That's all I have for the president's report. Clerk report.
As President Bo mentioned earlier tonight, we're starting to utilize social media more. Right now, we're just starting with Facebook and then may continue to other formats. But we all know that our village has multiple Facebook sites, so we're starting with that one. And she mentioned the comments being turned off because we don't want it to become one of our other sites with back and forth with people. I did leave the comments open for the village hall meeting and the town hall meeting, so that way people can maybe add some comments because we didn't get any email to us. So if you have any ideas of things you'd like to see in those weekly posts, you know, you can email me. Some of the things we're talking about is updating people about the permitting process. We're going to do bios and photos for all the trustees, local businesses spotlight, service club spotlight, history of the village. So if you have any like fun, unique history ideas or, you know, data that you want to share, you know, please feel free to email me.
We're looking to keep growing that, so. Yeah. All right, we do not have a building official yet, so we'll skip that report. Attorney Schuster is not here, no report. Engineer Steele emailed us. It wasn't included in the packet, folks. Sorry for that. There was one sheet and one sentence saying there is no report. Village administrator report.
Request a motion for the accounts payable in the amount of $183,945.65.
So
Second.
moved by McGuire, seconded by Hoff to approve the accounts payable. Any comments, questions, discussion?
Eugene, the $13,000 check, that is our portion that we have to pay the state for repaving Sleepy Hollow Road. Is that
I was
correct?
gonna make an announcement on that.
Oh, sorry.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schatzberger. Aye. Trustee Thomas.
Aye.
Trustee Diatley.
Aye.
Trustee Connelly.
Aye.
Trustee McGuire.
Aye.
Trustee Hoff.
Aye.
All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you.
So in this package was the final payment for the Sleepy Hollow Road project. We have been waiting the last several years for the state to give us this final bill, but it was part of the holdback. So we finally got that bill. So Sleepy Hollow Road is now ours. That's all I got.
It's awesome. Okay. All right, do we have, can somebody grab the public comments sheet, please? Debbie Vernon.
Hi, I'm Debbie Vernon. I live at 821 Locust Drive, Sleepy Hollow. We've lived here for 23 years. Just a little bit about my bio and my background. I've worked for 16 years for local government as an accountant, 16 in Illinois, 4 in Wisconsin. I have a wealth of information on analysis, the way things work in a village, public notices, and so I've been real involved with the village, and I was really happy to see today that there was, I think I counted, I may not gotten everybody, but around 40-45 people. So I think that was just, I think that's great. We've been coming to the meetings, Pete and I, since like January of 2025, and usually there's 3, well, you Ann knows, you know, and still other people who have come, but there's usually 4-ish, you know, at a meeting, and sometimes only 1 or 2. So I think that's just really great, and I'm glad that you had the town hall meeting tonight. And then I just want to say, just from being here, you know, all the trustees, they do care. They're here, they spend a lot of time outside doing all these different investigations and researching. Because we don't have a real big staff here. So I just wanted to put just a thank you to that, as well as our employees, Kyle, and with the police. You know, you guys are here, Jennifer Reed, I like the new thing that you're doing, Jen. And the different things posting, I think it's getting people out. And I do post on social media, but I've been trying very hard to just be so factual based and encouraging people to engage with the board. So that's kind of thing. And I just wanted to go over my like, what I, in my heart, thinks like are major things for the village. I'm looking for financial stability for today and in the future. I'd like to make the financial and Sleepy Hollow government transparency to residents, and having the packets before the meeting, which Courtney said you're working on, will help it. I also would like to see staff reports, specifically in finance as well as department heads. The places I've worked at, they have a report that shows the history. It shows cost, it shows if it's in the budget, they show a whole array of things. I know Chief Harma has done that on different occasions, and Kyle as well, you know, showing different quotes and stuff, but a little bit more intense with the staff reports, as well as financial analysis. We hear every board meeting what the warrants are from Eugene, but we hear nothing else. I've gone to every finance meeting, and there is some information, but I think it could be a lot more. You can give a summarized of what our financials are. And if anybody has any questions, maybe I can meet with Huff, you know, Trustee Huff or Eugene Van and kind of just discuss some things if I have questions. Would that be okay, Eugene?
Sure.
Okay. Next, improvement of water infrastructure, improvement of the roads. In that list that you put together, I was really, maybe it was just an oversight, that there was nothing about road improvements. Because we are using roads, the MFT money for roads, but then I don't know if there's any money in the general fund where we could get a fund balance analysis, Eugene, that would say what's available for overages that you would have for road project. Because we really need to do
designate money every year.
Okay, well, we can talk about that. Allowing sheds on residential properties, I put that in because there is a lot of questions, both yes and no about that, as Courtney mentioned. And then updated technology and communication and innovation. And I don't know if that computer that Trustee Thomas has, is that one of the older computers? Yeah, I mean, you would be surprised. It's very old. That, yeah, very, very old. It just,
You don't make it anymore.
yeah.
Haven't made it in 20 years.
That's fine. And then I mentioned about the other things, and then once again, especially Trustee Huff, the other ones, I can do a wonderful job as well, but all the work that he has done on this water main thing, this is a very, very important thing for our village. And I think it was great that 40-something residents got to hear that presentation, and then hopefully they'll pass it on to others. And the goal is, I think one of you guys wrote, maybe you did, Jen, is like, you want to make Sleepy Hollow an amazing place. And that's what we all want. We want our neighbors hood to be something that we're proud of. So thank you.
All right, trustee reports, roads, parks and streets, Trustee Connelly.
All right, just to start off with some trivia. Good way. Does anybody have any idea of how many total acres get mowed in Sleepy Hollow? Total. I didn't hear that.
I said, can I phone a friend?
It's not that guy.
That's all.
How many acres of grass is mowed in the village of Sleepy Hollow? Mowed.
I thought it was a different word.
150.
200.
City or no?
550.
67.
38.
Ah.
How many acres is Sabatino?
Just the mowing part.
Just the mowing.
Just the mowing
The
part,
wetland
yes.
area, just the part that usually the
31.
grass is cut.
12.8.
Oh. I need to go. get a
Okay,
paper.
stay tuned for more trivia next meeting. One of the things that came up, it was on, I was notified by a resident, and then it came up on, social media that there's an issue with, cars being, at a corner where there's a school bus stop. And because the ground has softened up as a result of the thaw, I just want to ask that drivers are cautious to not drive into someone's lawn. There's some cases where, obviously the gravel section of the road is narrow, but it's wide enough for a tire and maybe a couple of tires. So to drive, like 5 feet into someone's lawn, we need to be better. So Kyle's gonna help us with that and put some posts up at that residence, but we aren't gonna be able to do that across the whole village. So I'm just asking people to be a little more cautious. I realize the streets are narrow, but I think that if I owned the home and someone did that to me, I'd be pretty upset too.
Hey, Bill, can I interject on that too? a little
Please.
bit? I want to wait till Chief Parma gets back from vacation, because if I put posts up, people are just gonna park on the side farther down. So I can't put a no parking sign up until I get the okay from chief, because his officers have to enforce it. So
Well, I wasn't even thinking about a no parking sign. I was thinking of like the snow plow.
I
type
know, but
electric
even
things.
then, they'll just park before
Or
this.
they'll take them away.
Either I line the whole street with
Okay.
those, or we find some sort of solution.
Okay.
But I
So-
want to wait till chief gets back.
Okay,
And
then,
also,
then I'm just suggesting whoever is listening, driving to the school bus stop. Try to be more cognizant of the side of the road that you can safely put your tires on.
Can I say something, Tish? I live on that street and I've lived there for 37 years, going on 38. That's been the standard bus stop for all these years. And there are, like, as Kyle said, if you put something up, people will,
Okay,
they'll just shift it,
Okay.
which is unfortunate because then the next, like,
yeah,
it's gonna be
And it's the next
devastating. And
neighbor's-
I think that they're, part of the thing and that I've seen is that cars are over so far. Because the street is narrow and if you're coming down, I mean, it's happened to me, I'm coming down the street and cars are parked there. It's hard to get around them because the street is narrow and it's not, it's little kids, so it's
Right.
not like you can't.
yeah, I'm just
It's a tough-
asking it to be more
right.
cognizant
And-
of the shoulder.
And I think they are, but I think part of the issue too is because the snow is melted and the
Yeah.
ground is soft and I think there were work trucks as well that made those original,
Okay,
the original ruts, I'll say.
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of the, one of the things, and so it's just, it's a give and take, and it is where the rut is and where the cars are parking, it is on village property, it's an easement, so they aren't parking in somebody's yard. And part of the problem is that it's winter, so now the trees don't have any leaves, so when that house, all the bushes are filled in, you can't see.
but somebody has to cut the lawn, so whether it's the homeowner or the village, then they're dealing with ruts. So I'm just simply asking if people could be a little more cautious.
I understand what you're saying, Bill. I deal with this every year at my house. I live on Jamestown. They come around, they don't stay on the road, they go off. I don't have a problem with it. I just go out and fix the rut in the spring.
Right.
I mean,
Well-
it's part of our village. It's part of what we, what we have to do because. of the
But if
way
you're
our
my age,
situation
you might
is.
not be able to go out and fix that, so.
Well, I'm glad you're older than I am.
Guys like me that don't wanna do that, so, anyway, just a suggestion to be more careful. I understand that we're gonna be losing one of our public works employees, which is, another finance issue. He's decided to go to another community where he can earn, $6 to $8 an hour more and has a pension. So as long as we continue to discuss the future of finances, pay raises, the cost of running a village, we had a very good employee who is, last day will be on Friday, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we're gonna be looking for a replacement. If anybody knows anybody that has those kind of skills, including having a CDL, that would be helpful. The last time I spoke, I mentioned that we were running really low on salt. I'll save this for another trivia question next time, but let's just hope that we're not gonna have too much snow, because we could probably make it through the year, but we're still struggling with getting salt delivered, and it's not an issue that we can face, it's the supplier problem. Once weather breaks, Kyle already has some areas that he knows we need to do some repair on some street problems. Cold patch, those kind of things. I already discussed the bike paths at our town hall. And that is really all that I have. Anything else that I missed, Kyle, that you want to let us know about?
No, I think, other than being short-staffed, and we're gonna be a little short-staffed coming up, so just please be patient, especially if we get a big snowstorm. There's only gonna be 2 guys plowing. But we've done it before, we'll survive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Finance, trustee Hoff?
Well, I'm gonna continue on with Bill's trivia here. Does anybody know how many miles of water main we have in Sleepy Hollow? Take a guess. 40? This is miles.
30.
19.
Okay, the official, because we have to get home.
Yes.
The official number is 22 miles of water main. And there's 5,280 feet in a mile. And at $350 a foot to replace it is 1.848 million. Let that sink in. We don't need to replace it all in 1 year, but we certainly have got to put a plan in place to start replacing the east side. And I know I took a lot of time before, but just again, I've been studying this thing for 4 months. I love it. It's fantastic. It's fascinating. And I just hope we get our shovel in the ground this year, everybody, because it'll teach us a lot about the product that we're going to put in, the exact costs, and how easy it is for our residents. That's it for me.
Thank you. Water and sewer, trustee McGuire?
I mean, I think we've had these covered for the last 2 months. I like that it says passion because it's not mine.
Did you have any follow-up? Oh, I suppose she already spoke at the meeting.
Yeah.
Touch base together. Okay. Police and public safety, trustee Diatley.
Just a couple quick things. Had our first meeting today with the police union for our negotiation of new contract. This was just our first initial meet and greet. We have another meeting scheduled for them in a couple weeks, so we'll have more on that to come. But it was a good initial first meeting. The second thing is, last time at the meeting I passed out, I was contacted by Mona Hour in a way to honor past Chief Montalbano. The one street sign I passed around. Looking for ideas on that, if that's the best way to do it. She had contacted me again. I told her we have not taken the action on it, but would like to do that at the next meeting. So if you have ideas of other ways to do this, if, you know, I'm not saying a street sign is the best way or whatever, but that's what's been presented. Please let me know and we can discuss it and get it on the agenda for the next meeting. And see if we can move forward and do something like that.
So this would be an honorary street. We're not going to change.
Yes, this would be an honorary street. This would, if that's what she had presented to me. Yeah, this would be an honorary street. It would be where she would like to post it is, there's a sign supposedly right out here by the village hall. There's a post that she would like to put it on.
Oh, on Thoroughbred?
On Thoroughbred that would, basically points this way towards
Yeah.
the village hall. We have to look and see if, is that the best place for it? Is that what we want to do? I don't have a problem with this. I did have some people contact me and say, well, I didn't care for Chief Montalbano. I'm sorry, folks. He worked here for 37 or 38 years. He's probably got a few enemies. I get it. But I think that you have to look past that and look at, he did serve the village for 37 or 38 years. So he must have done something right. and so I think we have to look past that and see if there's something that we can do in some way to make that happen.
And you and I've had some discussions on this. I just personally, folks, I have an aversion to naming things after people just because of relationships and how people feel about it. I think one thing I'd like to see in Sleepy Hollow is that the streets and the buildings and such are named after Sleepy Hollow, that kind of encompasses Sleepy Hollow and the characters, like the character and quality of it. But your point is very valid, like putting in that much time here And also people had asked about President Pickett. If we could do something honorary, I mean, I would be interested in seeing if we have bricks out by the flagpole, we have benches in various areas. Maybe something in a designated spot, like maybe even a bench here at Village Hall or in front of the police department might be a really great idea. So if we could all just kind of think on it and come up with what we think could be a good compromise. That, I mean, we're not gonna make everybody happy, but yeah, I'd like us to look into that, because she has followed up on this a couple times, because it was on the board when I was on as trustee, then again earlier this year and now. So it clearly is a passion of hers, so I don't want to mute her interest.
Definitely.
But
So,
yeah.
so yeah, if we could have ideas and we'll discuss it more at the next meeting.
Steve, is his family, I mean, this person we're talking about is deceased. Is his family in the community? Would his family know if we did this or not?
I would have to check. I don't know.
There are relatives in Sleepy
Yeah,
Hollow.
I know that.
I don't want to call them out. They're
Yeah.
somewhere here tonight, so.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll put it on for discussion so we can move forward.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Buildings and Environment, Trustee Schatzberger.
I don't have an official report, but I will start putting together some volunteer dates again. So anybody who is interested in starting to help with the cleanup, village cleanup again, and if I can hit up those scouts.
Yep.
So sure thing, start putting together some dates.
Hey, Ron, I saw somewhere it said April 18th was gonna be our Earth Day cleanup. Somebody's already put that in, right?
I was actually just gonna ask you about that, because I was noticing all the trash now that the snow is melted.
I looked at
Like-
too much stuff today.
Yeah.
I can't recall exactly where it was, so I said, oh, I need to bring this to the board to get it on the calendar officially. And
Yeah, I did not put that out there, and I
does
will.
anybody know what Earth Day is actually? Is it the 18th? It's a Saturday,
Just pulling
which
it up.
we usually do it on.
20,
It's usually the 20th or 22nd, like around.
And we do it
April
before or
22nd.
after.
Earth Day is the 22nd.
It is.
It's a Wednesday, the 22nd.
So if we could be that bold now, just kind of pencil it for the 18th, next board meeting, we make it official. And then Jen, if you could put that out on the Facebook page, that'd be great, but let's wait until the next March meeting.
We can't vote on it tonight anyways.
Yeah.
I can add that to the, you two touch base, just confirm that that works. I know, yeah, Bill, you usually run the Earth Day cleanup, don't you?
Yep.
Yes.
And I don't know if you had more than just that. You obviously probably do. but-
Nope, that's all I have for right now.
No, I mean, other
Oh.
cleanup days.
Oh, yeah, there's gonna be lots of cleanup.
Okay.
days.
And actually, while we're discussing it, let's, you, Kyle and I touch base, now that you're less staff, sorry. About burning some of those piles or seeing what we want to do with the piles that we left from cleanup last time, or at least maybe just moving it over to the bonfire. I just noticed now that snow is melted, I'm seeing a lot more people parking, going out and walking the trail, and I realized
Yeah, there's still several. I also.
We don't want to chip it, right?
No,
I don't, yeah, typically you don't
I
want to,
understand.
well, but the thing is, it has died, all the berries. The berries and such have died over winter, or I'll confirm and see if that would make a difference. If maybe it's possible, I don't know offhand if that would.
Chipping it'd be a lot easier.
Okay, good to know. Kyle, would that be
Maybe
easy?
not for us.
It'd be half the time spent hauling it. You just bring the chipper over there, chip it, and you're done. You can get triple the amount of brush in it.
we just don't want to spread that.
Let me, yeah, we'll research that and find out if it's dead enough now that we wouldn't be spreading it, because that would defeat the whole purpose.
I'll reach out to my expert and talk to her and see what she.
Thank you. Anything else from you, trustee Schatzberger?
No.
Building and zoning, trustee, I just blanked your name, Thomas.
It's okay. Eugene and I have been meeting with, looking for a building official. We've met with a couple groups and we're working on that process right now, so. More information to follow.
Do you have candidates?
Yes.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yes, sir. And then again, the Sleepy Hollow Gala for everybody's here is going to be on April 18th at Moretti's, and there's more information. The committee is getting together to work on that, and I can give you more information once I get it from them.
Great, we can clean up in the morning and then go to the party at night. You'll spend all day with your neighbors.
So, okay.
That's the best time to party.
How's Park District stuff? Is any meetings lately?
I am going to a Park District meeting tomorrow night. I've been invited to, they're gonna be discussing their finances. And do you have a comment you wanna make, Jenny? Seem to be laughing about it. Do you have something to say?
Pool.
What's that?
Well,
This is not about the pool.
but they're discussing, they've asked me to come and listen. They're discussing their finances. They've gone through their sustainability. And they're gonna be discussing their new org charts. And what they're gonna be looking at as far as possibly doing a referendum. You know, it's all up in the air right
You'll
now.
find out tomorrow.
So I'll have more information after tomorrow.
All right, moving on to old business. We have down for follow-up discussion in creating the 2026 mobile food vendor ordinance. Or license. We had that, we allowed for a temporary to go through until the end of March while we sort out how we want to frame the mobile food vendor ordinance. A few items that were brought up which are on my board in there. Some things, some criteria we didn't have on the form, the prior act or the prior ordinance was sales tax reports, AKAs, other known names for the businesses included, licensing fee. Do you recall what the other two, there were two other certifications, I think, that we had some questions about. Has anybody else come up with ideas or things that you wanted included or
I just have a
excluded?
couple of questions, Maggie and Danny, if it's okay. So, the business license, because you guys are a DBA for Damo Barbecue, but the business license is actually under a different name, right?
Actually, we transferred over from what it was before.
Okay, so you guys, the license is under that particular name, that, yeah, the LLC is under?
No,
No,
it's an S corp.
S corp, okay. And then you guys got the licensing from King County.
The health department.
The health
license?
department,
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I dropped it off.
No,
today.
I have, oh, you
Oh,
have dropped it off.
oh,
Okay. I have the rest of it.
Any other thoughts? I know no?
So are you collecting sales tax?
Correct, yes.
Is it, what is 7%?
Whatever it
I
is, the
think
tax,
it's
the
like
tax
9%
lady
or
does
whatever.
it.
Yeah, I think it's like 9%.
Okay.
Yeah, but it all is all filed under the state.
Okay, I just don't know how that flows from the
Yeah.
time someone pays you the tax to it working its way back to us.
No, they take it out.
So your tax accountant takes care of that, they pay your quarterly taxes.
Yes.
Okay.
And I appreciate you guys being here to answer some questions. I'd like to remind the board, we are not here to make a mobile food vending ordinance specifically for these two wonderful individuals. We do need to kind of take into consideration everybody. But thank you for answering some questions. We have some
Absolutely.
individual experience feedback.
We're happy to help. Actually, we brought that. I can't talk, sorry. Okay, that's why we brought up that food truck, licensing thing or, truck.
The House Bill Act.
The bill that's coming up because it needs to be transparent so that it is clear that we do collect sales tax, that everybody that is doing the food permit, you know, their license and have insurance, because there is some food vendors that do follow the rules and do all these things, and then there are some that don't deviate. So that is another reason why they want to get this bill out there, because food vending is becoming more popular among all these villages, and they need to have something more blanketed for everyone, so that involves the rules and guidelines. Because it is confusing for everyone.
Are we getting the sales, some of the sales?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Eugene for that in a report.
I've submitted a request to get sales tax data and I have not gotten it back from the state yet.
Okay. No further discussion on that then? Okay, let's, we did say we were gonna get this done by the end of March, so I can take what we have so far, come up with some drafts, bring it back to you guys. Unless, if you guys come up with any ideas and before the next meeting, please send them to me. Otherwise, I think I've kind of gotten most everybody's feedback. Residents, if you have any thoughts, feel free to email them in, title movable food vendor. All right, moving on to new business, discussion and motion to approve the Market in the Hollow dates. We didn't have an attachment, but can you run over the dates?
Can I?
Oh, can we ask Chris? Yes.
I don't have my phone with me.
Okay, then I.
Sorry.
have it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I just need a calendar. It's the second
This is that second
Sunday of June. So June 8th. August 10th and September 14th. We would be missing July, and our market would then be rolling in with the 4th of July celebration that the service club puts on.
So those dates are different than when we.
Okay,
originally-
then whatever dates I told you there.
Okay, so
Sorry.
sorry, June 14th,
Okay, so it was the week after.
August 9th, and September 13th. And as she said, the July will go with the Market in the Hollow, and then possibly one be added in October.
I was concerned that the September one was gonna go into Heritage Fest, but that's actually the following weekend.
Yes.
June, Father's Day is the next weekend. And August 9th.
It's
Like
the
nothing
week-
happens. It's
So the weekend before school starts.
Okay.
Something.
And this is once again a service club.
Yes, so we got the
Service club
approval
sponsored.
of the service club, they pulled the insurance for this, for the vendors to be there, and then. Yeah, it's just that July date we aren't doing, like I said, because we're rolling that into the 4th of July celebration so that no one has to pick and choose or anything like that.
I'm excited for the one.
Yeah.
There'd be no July at all.
There will
Or you're kidding,
It's a
but-
special event.
Not the regular Market in the Hollow.
It's not the regular Market in the Hollow, so you won't see the name Market in the Hollow for July. But we will, like on our Facebook page and things, we will direct people to the 4th of July celebration vendor event that Maria puts on with the service club. Or Maria handles with the.
Kind of like how we did at Halloween.
Yes, where we did Halloween, it was still a lot of the same vendors, but our Market in the Hollow committee didn't have anything to do with it.
And the 4th of July, that's the first weekend, and Market is
Yeah.
typically the second Sunday, so.
And I was busy, so.
All right, so actually, I suppose we went to discussion, but can I have a motion from the board to approve the Market in the Hollow dates of June 14th? June 14th, August 9th, and September 13th, which are the second Sundays of the months.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by McGuire, seconded by Thomas. Any comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. All opposed? All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Next, moving on is the discussion and motion to approve the letter of support for Explore Elgin Area recertification. I included that in the email to you guys. It's pretty straightforward. It costs us nothing and they want to help promote us. So I don't see any drawback. Can I get a motion?
So moved, Diatley.
Second.
Moved by Diatley, seconded by trustee McGuire. And trustee Hoff, did you have a comment?
Nope.
Okay. Comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All in favor, no opposed, motion passes. Thank you. Last item, discussion and motion to approve the spring edition of the Legend newsletter.
So moved. Second.
Moved by McGuire, seconded by Schatzberger. Any comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? All opposed? All in favor? No opposition. Motion passes.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion to adjourn by McGuire, seconded by Diatley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We adjourn at 8:31. This was Sugarland Town Hall.
We love whatever.